Hello everyone, welcome to Vijay Mohan IAS Academy. And this is Vijay Mohan. As you know that we are in APPSC Group 2 Mains Economy video course, and we are dealing with the first chapter of Indian economy, national income. And in the previous class, we had a discussion about the method which is being used in the which is being used in India for calculating the national income, which is nothing but the mixed method. And we also saw some of the difficulties or challenges as far as the calculation of national income is concerned. అంటే నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయడానికి మనకుండే డిఫికల్టీస్ ఏంటి, ఛాలెంజెస్ ఏంటి, ఇది కూడా చూసాము. అదేవిధంగా సాల్వ్డ్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ది ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అండ్ ఆల్సో ప్రాక్టీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ రిలేటెడ్ టు అవర్ డిస్కషన్, రైట్? సో ఫర్ కంటిన్యూటీ ఐ ఆల్వేస్ సే దట్ యూ జస్ట్ సీ ద ప్రీవియస్ క్లాసెస్ చూడండి, then only you will be able to have continuity in this respect. Okay, so estimates of national income కి సంబంధించి మనం ఈ వీడియోలో ఏంటంటే what are the efforts in the pre-independence era and what are the efforts in the post-independence era as far as calculating national or estimating national income is concerned. అంటే ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ ఎరాలో ఎఫర్ట్స్ ఏంటి, అదేవిధంగా పోస్ట్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ ఎరాలో ఎఫర్ట్స్ ఏంటి. పోస్ట్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ ఎరాకి సంబంధించినంత వరకు ఫస్ట్ వీ విల్ డీల్ విత్ ది ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్, అంటే ఏమేమి ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేశారు, రైట్? అండ్ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ వీ విల్ గో టు ట్రెండ్స్. ఓకే, సో ఫస్ట్ వీ విల్ సీ ఫస్ట్ లెట్ మీ టెల్ యూ దట్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద ప్రాబబుల్ ఏరియాస్ విత్ హై ప్రాబబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్. అంటే క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎక్కువగా అడగటానికి ఏ ఏరియాస్ నుంచి ఎక్కువగా అడగడానికి మనకి స్కోప్ ఉంది అనేది చూద్దాం. అంటే మన వీడియో కోర్స్లో ఏంటంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ అంటే మనం ఎక్కడ ఏ ఏరియాస్ నుంచి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎక్కువగా అడగడానికి సంభావ్యత ఉంది, అంటే ఏ ఏరియాస్ని ఫోకస్ చేయాలి, ఏ ఏరియాస్ మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయాలనేది ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఇట్ డజంట్ మ్యాటర్ దట్ ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ గో ఆన్ రీడింగ్ అండ్ గో ఆన్ కంపైలింగ్ ద సోర్సెస్ అండ్ గో ఆన్ రెఫరింగ్ ద బుక్స్. సో అన్లెస్ అంటిల్ ఎగ్జామ్ ఓరియంటేషన్ని మీ ప్రిపరేషన్లో తీసుకురానంత వరకు యూ మైట్ బి రీడింగ్ 6 hours, యూ మైట్ బి రీడింగ్ 7 hours, యూ మైట్ బి రీడింగ్ 10 hours. దట్ డజంట్ మేక్ ఎనీ సెన్స్. సో మనం మన సోర్సెస్ని తక్కువగా, ఎస్పెషల్లీ గ్రూప్ 2కి ఏంటంటే ఎంత వీలైతే అంత తక్కువ మన సోర్సెస్ని పెట్టుకొని వాటిల్లోనే మనం యూ నీడ్ టు థింక్ మోర్ అండ్ యూ నీడ్ టు బ్రింగ్ ది ఎగ్జామ్ ఓరియంటేషన్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ తీసుకొని రావాలంటే ఈ ఏరియాస్ నుంచి ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏమున్నాయి, ఒకవేళ ఈ ఏరియాలో క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగితే రేపు ఒకవేళ ఎలా అడిగే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి, సింపుల్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగితే ఎలా అడిగే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి, మీడియం లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ డిఫికల్టీ అయితే ఎలా అడిగే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి, డిఫికల్టీ మోర్ అంటే ఎక్కువ డిఫికల్టీ లెవెల్ అడిగితే ఎలా ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఈ విధంగా మీరు ఎస్పెషల్గా ఎకానమీ అండ్ ఆల్సో సైన్స్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ మీద, ఎందుకంటే దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ టైం దట్ దే ఆర్ ఇంట్రొడ్యూసింగ్ సైన్స్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ టైం దట్ దే ఆర్ రెడ్యూసింగ్ ద మార్క్స్ ఫర్ ఎకానమీ టు 75 marks. కాబట్టి ఏంటంటే మోస్ట్లీ ద సెలెక్షన్ విల్ డిపెండ్ అపాన్ ది థర్డ్ పేపర్, అంటే సారీ ది సెకండ్ పేపర్ ఆఫ్ ద మెయిన్స్. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ పేపర్ లేదు, జిఎస్ పేపర్ లేదు, పేపర్ 1 అండ్ పేపర్ 2 ఇన్ ద మెయిన్స్. పేపర్ 1లో విల్ బి హ్యావింగ్ హిస్టరీ అండ్ పాలిటీ అండ్ పేపర్ 2లో ఎకానమీ అండ్ సైన్స్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ. సో మోస్ట్లీ the maximum you score in the second paper, then your selection probability will be more. So కాబట్టి ఏంటంటే ది ఎగ్జామ్ ఓరియంటేషన్, ఎగ్జామ్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్, ఆ ఎకోసిస్టమ్ని అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవడం వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో మన దగ్గర ఉన్న బుక్స్ అన్ని, మార్కెట్లో ఉన్న బుక్స్ అన్ని తీసుకొని చదివినంత మాత్రాన యు ఆర్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు గెట్ ఇన్ టు ద సిస్టమ్, రైట్? సో దట్ ఈస్ వై ఐ మేక్ ఇట్ ఎ పాయింట్ బిఫోర్ ఎవ్రీ, అంటే ఎవ్రీ ఐటమ్, అంటే ఎవ్రీ ఇష్యూకి సంబంధించి సిలబస్లో ఉన్న ఎవ్రీ పాయింట్కి మనం ముందుకు వెళ్ళడానికి సంబంధించి I just make it a point to think about it. What are the previous questions? I just go through the last 5 years or 10 years papers and I will see. సో ఈ ఏరియా నుంచి మనకి ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ వచ్చాయి, ఒకవేళ వస్తే ఏ ఏరియాలో ఎక్కువ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది, ఒకవేళ రేపు ఏదైనా ఎగ్జామ్లో క్వశ్చన్ అడిగితే ఈ ఏరియా నుంచి క్వశ్చన్ ఎలా ఫామ్ చేయొచ్చు, డిఫికల్టీ లెవెల్స్లో క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలా ఫామ్ చేయొచ్చు. దట్ ఈస్ వై ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ గివింగ్ యూ ప్రాక్టీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆల్సో ఆఫ్టర్ ఎండింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఎవ్రీ టాపిక్. అంటే ప్రతి టాపిక్ ఎండ్ అవ్వగానే నేను కొన్ని ప్రాక్టీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా ఇస్తున్నాను. సో టు మేక్ ఇట్ షూర్ దట్ యువర్ ప్రిపరేషన్ ఈజ్ అప్ టు ది ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ డిఫికల్టీ లెవెల్ ఆర్ ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ స్టాండర్డ్ ఆఫ్ ఏపీఎస్సి గ్రూప్స్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్. మీరు రీసెంట్ గ్రూప్ 1 ప్రిలిమ్స్ చూసినట్లయితే పేపర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆఫ్ హై స్టాండర్డ్. సో స్టాండర్డ్స్ ఆర్ ఇంప్రూవింగ్. సో ఇన్ ట్యూన్ విత్ దట్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఇంప్రూవ్ కంటిన్యూస్లీ. దట్ ఈస్ ది effort that is what I wanted to bring in as far as aspirants are concerned, right? So estimates of national income ki sambandhinchi, so what are the areas with high probability of questions? Individual efforts individual economic efforts అంటే ఎస్పెషల్గా ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ ఎరాలో what are the main who are the main individuals who make concerted efforts related to estimation of national income, right? There are some individuals like Dadabhai Nauroji, William Digbe, and you can say VKR Rao. So they made an concerted efforts as far as estimation of national income and per capita income in the pre-independence era. And the books they wrote, what are the books they wrote? That also important. Sometimes they might ask, oh, the book written by Dadabhai Nauroji. They will give four options, or they will give the book who wrote this book, right? So the books they are written. I already gave some more books in the earlier classes also, written by the famous economists, and just I given one table. Try to see that class also, and try to remember those books also. Those books are also very important, right? So the books they have written, and the questions on institutions and organizations, etc. So institutions mida, like Indian Statistical Institute, National Statistical Office, right? National Sample Survey Organization, when it was established, who were instrumental in establishing it, and where is the headquarter located? So these kind of questions also, if they want to give purely statistical based questions, then they will rely on these things, right? And scope for more statistics based questions. So as far as estimates of national income is concerned, especially efforts by different individuals on the estimates of national income is concerned, there is a scope for more statistical based question. So sorry. So this is the base. So these are the areas that we will be having more probability of questions being asked, right? So now we will see pre-independence period. So pre-independence period lo national income calculate cheyadaniki efforts ఏమన్నా. Immediately you will get a striking point in memory about the Dadabhai Nauroji, right? And his economic drain theory, right? So ayana through his writings and through his books and through his theories, he wanted to prove that the British rule in India has drained the economic wealth of India, right? And mostly in the pre-independence period, the efforts made by the people, there might be colonial they might be colonial writers, or they might be, you can say, Indian writers, native Indian writers. Their entire effort is based on, or their effort is to make it a point that the Britishers have ravaged the Indian economy, or ravaged the wealth of the India. Means అంటే, and they have increased the poverty levels, pauperization ఆఫ్ ఇండియన్ ఎకానమీ. అంటే వాళ్ళ ఎఫర్ట్ అంతా ఎట్లా ఉందంటే, ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ రైటర్స్ అంతా దే వాంట్ టు ప్రూవ్ దట్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ది బ్రిటిషర్స్ రూల్ ఇండియన్ ఎకానమీ చాలా సఫర్ అయింది, పావర్టీ పెరిగింది, కమర్షియలైజేషన్ అగ్రికల్చర్లో పెరిగింది, దానివల్ల సబ్సిస్టెన్స్ అగ్రికల్చర్ పడిపోయింది, ఫుడ్ ప్రోడక్ట్స్ ఫుడ్ ప్రోడక్ట్స్కి సంబంధించిన వాట్ యూ సే ప్రొడక్షన్ లెవెల్స్, ప్రొడక్టివిటీ లెవెల్స్ తగ్గిపోయాయి. సో if you see the entire scenario in the estimation of national income and per capita income in the pre-independence period, the effort is to show that the poverty levels, the income levels, the wealth levels of the India has been decreased up to maximum. It was true, అంటే చాలా వరకు that was true, but you cannot deny the political biasness also, right? సో ఇది ఒక యాంగిల్ మాత్రమే, దిస్ ఇస్ వన్ స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ థాట్, ఇది మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి, రైట్? సో ఈ ప్రీ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ పీరియడ్లో ఏంటంటే దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఎఫర్ట్స్, రైట్? అండ్ సమ్ ఇండివిజువల్స్ ఆర్ దేర్, సమ్ బుక్స్ దే రోట్, అండ్ సమ్ టెండెన్సీస్ దే వర్ హ్యావింగ్, రైట్? సో విత్ దిస్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ వీ విల్ మూవ్ ఫార్వర్డ్. హూ ఆర్ దోస్ పీపుల్ and what are those books, what are their estimates, right? Okay. And one more point is that because of these individuals efforts in the pre-independence era, అంటే pre-independence era లో నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ కి సంబంధించిన ఎఫర్ట్స్ వీళ్ళు చేయటం వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఇమీడియట్లీ ఆఫ్టర్ పోస్ట్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ స్టాటిస్టికల్ సిస్టమ్స్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్ కానివ్వండి, లేకపోతే స్టాటిస్టికల్ సిస్టమ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్ కానివ్వండి, అలాగే ఎస్టిమేట్స్ చేయడం కానివ్వండి, ఇండియన్ ఎకానమీకి సంబంధించి, ఇన్కమ్కి సంబంధించి, పర్ క్యాపిటల్ ఇన్కమ్కి సంబంధించి ఒక బేస్ క్రియేట్ అయింది ఇమీడియట్లీ ఆఫ్టర్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ అనమాట, రైట్? యూ విల్ సీ యాజ్ వీ గో, యూ విల్ సీ హౌ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ became a base for the immediately after independence, right? Yeah. Before independence, there was no attempt made by any government agency to estimate the national income, and all the estimates available were prepared by the private individuals only. So, before independence, mostly efforts made by private individuals. So, some of the notable efforts were Dadabhai Nauroji, 1868, William Digby, 1899, Findlay Shiraz for these years 1911, 22, and 31. Shah and Hambatta and V.K.R.V. Rao 1925-29 and 1931-32 and R.C. Desai etc. 1931-40. So these years up to Dadabhai Nauroji, V.K.R.V. Rao, these two efforts made by these two prominent economists are very important, and the years that they made is also important, right? The pioneering work in this direction was done by Dadabhai Nauroji in 1876. He estimated the national income and per capita income for the period 1867 to 1870. He estimated the national income of British India at rupees 340 crores, which meant a per capita income of rupees 20 in the year 1868. 1868, right? Just try to remember this per capita income and the national income during the British India, which is calculated by Dadabhai Nauroji, right? Now, it was a crude measurement. దాదాబాయి నవరోజీకి సంబంధించినంత వరకు ఏంటంటే నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ ఎస్టిమేట్స్ ఆయన చేసింది ఒక టైప్ ఆఫ్ క్రూడ్ మెజర్ అనమాట. So there was a very less scientific element involved in the calculation of national income by the Dadabhai Nauroji. Yes, there is scientific element, but the accurate or the first scientific calculation which is undertaken in the calculation of national income is done by V.K.R.V. Rao, right? In spite of a weak statistical base, his estimate was considered to be the best among the estimates prepared during the pre-independence period. Why? Because he is having some scientific methodology to calculate the national income. This methodology, it is not that much needed for the examination. However, you need to know what he has done. He divided the economy, Indian economy, into two categories, right? Industry, trade, transport, public services, administration, professions, liberal arts, and the domestic services were included in the first category. Agriculture, pastures, mines, forest, fishing and hunting were major items which are under the second category. So by dividing the Indian economy into two categories, he tried to calculate the national income based on certain scientific criteria, right? So these are the two just basics that you need to understand. Okay, now VKRV Rao, we already have certain some information with respect to VKRV Rao, where he contributed for the calculation of national income and other things. Now, I just try to gather some additional information related to VKR Rao. Why? Because there might be a question that what is the contribution of VKR Rao, and they can give some options like what is the contribution of VKR Rao in the establishment of Indian Statistical Institute, or how he was whether he was a member of the below following committees, like that. So I just wanted to give you some additional information. So he had some contribution in the Indian Statistical Institute. Rao played a crucial role in the establishment of Indian Statistical Institute in 1931, right? And National Income Committee. He is the member of the National Income Committee. Rao was a member of the National Income Committee, which is established by the Government of India in 1949, right? And you know that this National Income Committee, National Estimates Income Committee, has been established by the Government of India in 1949 for the purpose of, it was tasked with the recommending methods for estimating national income and related aggregates in India. So in order to evolve a statistical system in India, or national income, what do you say, aggregates, to recommend national income aggregates and policies and instruments, the Indian government has appointed National Income Committee, and he is one of the members of the National Income Committee, right? And one more contribution, Central Statistical Organization. Rao was also involved in setting up the Central Statistical Organization in India, right? And Central Statistical Organization, when it was being established, I already told you in the previous class that it was being established in 1951, right? Yeah. Now just see about Indian Statistical Institute, which is an institute of national importance, and the Indian Statistical Institute was established in 1931, and under whose aegis it was being established. P.C. Mahalanobis played an instrumental role for establishing Indian Statistical Institute. And where is the headquarters? Its headquarters located. Its headquarters is located in Kolkata, right? And it is institution of national importance, and which is a nodal agency as far as the statistical system, or you can say statistical instruments, right, in India is concerned. Okay. Now I try to give one tabular form where the estimates of national income and per capita income in pre-independence India has been shown, and you don't need to mug up all the data, all the facts in this table. Try to remember some of the names. Dadabhai Nauroji, estimates for the year 1868. What is the national income? 340 crores. What is the per capita income? 20 rupees. And at the same time, try to remember this name also. William Digby, for the year 1899, what is the national income? 390 rupees. What is the per capita income? 17 rupees. So William Digby also very critical of the British government rule and British economic policies as far as British India is concerned. అంటే చాలా వరకు క్రిటిసైజ్ చేయడం జరిగింది, అండ్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ది బ్రిటిష్ రూల్ ఇండియా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్డ్ ఇంపవర్మెంట్ అని కూడా చెప్పడం జరిగింది, రైట్? And apart from that, you need to remember B.N. Sharma also, who has calculated the given figures for national income for the year 1911, and per capita income is 50 rupees, right? And another name that you need to remember in this is V.K. Rao. He has given for the year 1931-32, 1689 rupees is the national income and 62 is the per capita income. So these are the names that you need to remember. And as I already told you, books written by these eminent personalities are also important from the examination point of view, especially Dadabhai Nauroji. He has written a book named Poverty and Un-British Rule in India 1902, which is a famous book and which tells about the economic drain which is being done during the British India by the British economic policies. అంటే బ్రిటిష్ ఎకనామిక్ పాలసీస్ వల్ల భారతదేశపు సంపద ఎలాగా వెళ్ళిపోవడం జరిగింది అనే విషయాన్ని then he started giving the economic critique of the British rule, right? ఈ economic critique అనే దాన్ని దాదాబాయి నౌరోజీ he popularized it, right? And thereby tried to arouse the national sentiments, right? And this has been asked in many exams. The Poverty and British Rule in India అనే పుస్తక రచయిత ఎవరు? Who wrote the book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India అనేది I think they were asked, it has been asked in many times, right? Next, William Digby. What is the book he has written? Prosperous British India, a revelation from official records, 1901. This is also one of the important books. V.K. Rao, he wrote many books. Among them, the important books are an essay on India's national income 1925 to 29, which is published in 1936, the national income of British India 1940, War on the Indian economy 1943. These are the books written by, or you can say essays written by V.K. Rao. Now, just try to see one previous question, which is given on the books written by different economists and different personalities. It has been asked in AP Police SI related exam. List has been given here: Adam Smith, Amartya Sen, Dadabhai Nauroji, J.M. Keynes, and the books in the second list. Try to pause the video and try to answer this question. The correct answer is that Adam Smith, the book written by him is The Wealth of Nations, which is a famous book, right? In the economy discipline, and this one is a very famous book. And Amartya Sen, the book written by him is Poverty and Famines. And Dadabhai Nauroji, as we have already seen, Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. This was the famous book written by Dadabhai Nauroji. And J.M. Keynes, The one of the other famous book is The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money. This is also one of the path-breaking book written by J.M. Keynes, right? So the correct answer is 3142. See how if they want to make your life very difficult, these type of questions, they can pose these type of questions, right? Now just see post-independence period estimates. Now, how immediately after post-independence, what has happened? What are the committees? What are the offices that came into picture as far as estimations of national income is concerned, right? The government of India in 1949 appointed the National Income Estimates Committee. Just now we have discussed National Income Estimates Committee under the chairmanship of P.C. Mahalanobis with D.R. Gargil and V.K.R.V. Rao as members. So who is the chairman? P.C. Mahalanobis, and P.C. Mahalanobis name will come again and again, right? As far as your planning is concerned, as far as your statistical system is concerned, his contribution is enormous as far as the evolution of Indian statistical system is concerned. So try to remember this name, right? So in 1949, Indian government has appointed the National Income Estimates Committee under the chairmanship of P.C. Mahalanobis, who are the members D.R. Gadgil and V.K. Rao. This is called as the high-powered expert committee, and it has submitted its first report in 1951 and final report in 1954. In the first report, it has estimated at 1948-49 prices the per capita income of rupees 225 rupees and national income of 8,710 crores. Right now, highlights of that report. The first report is half of the national income. Half of the national income comes from agriculture, mining, manufacturing, and handicrafts. The share of industry is 1/6 of the total share, that is 16%, I think. Then public sector share in NDP, right? Net domestic product is 7.6%. These are the highlights of that particular report. Now we will see Central Statistical Office. See some details about the Central Statistical Office. In the earlier class, we had seen National Statistical Office. The details about National Statistical Office, how it came into picture, right? Now, Central Statistical Organization. Earlier, it was organization was established in 1951 by the government. Its head office used to be in New Delhi, Central Statistical Office, right? In 1954, the National Income Estimates Department was handed over to the CSO. CSO calculates the national income in current prices and base year prices. It was the scenario before 2019, right? Why? Because in 2019, the CSO and NSSO both have been clubbed and formed into National Statistical Office. Okay. Now, taken till date, the base years adopted in India are 1948-49, 1960-61, 70-71, 80-81, 93-94, 99-2000, 2004-2005, and now it is 2011 and 2012. You don't need to remember how many base years has been adopted. You just need to remember what is the current base year, right? From January 2015, 2012, 2011-12 was taken as the base year, and this base year has been suggested by recommended by Advisory Committee on National Accounts Statistics, Advisory Committee on National Accounts Statistics under the chairmanship of Professor K. Sundaram. So, because of this recommendation, or based on the recommendation of this committee, Advisory Committee on National Accounts Statistics, the year 2011 and 12 has been taken as the adopted as the base year, right? In this new series, United Nations guidelines were also incorporated on the recommendations of the Pranab Sen Committee. So Pranab Sen Committee recommendations ni base cheskoni ee new series of national income accounting law we have adapted the UN guidelines also. Earlier while discussing, we just mentioned SNA, System of National Accounts. So a system of national accounts is nothing but it is being aligned with the United Nations guidelines on the national accounts, right? Which is an international practice. So international ga system of national accounting అనేది ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇట్ వాజ్ అలైన్డ్ అంటే ఇంటర్నేషనల్ గా ఎక్కువ ప్రాక్టీస్ లో ఉన్నది అనమాట. సో ఈ న్యూ సిరీస్ లో భాగంగా ఏంటంటే సిస్టమ్ ఆఫ్ నేషనల్ అకౌంట్స్ అనేది కూడా మనం ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేసాం ఫ్రమ్ 2015 ఆన్వర్డ్స్. ఓకే, prior to the new base year of 2011 and 12, GDP in our country means GDP at factor cost. So 2015 కి ముందు అంటే 2011-12 ని బేస్ ఇయర్ తీసుకోకుండా ముందు జీడిపి అంటే మన కంట్రీలో ఏంటంటే జీడిపి ఎట్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ కాస్ట్. బట్ after 2000 introduction of this new series, GDP at market prices is being considered as GDP. అంటే internationally GDP at market prices is taken as GDP. Hence India also started the practice of considering GDP at market price as GDP, right? Just try to remember this as it is. There is a, in the new series, gross value added at factor cost is calculated instead of sector wise gross value added at basic price. This was also told in the previous classes also. న్యూ సిరీస్ తర్వాత ఏమైందంటే గ్రాస్ వాల్యూ యాడెడ్ అనేది బేసిక్ ప్రైసెస్ దగ్గర కాకుండా సేమ్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ కాస్ట్ల దగ్గర మనం క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది అనమాట. సో ఎర్లియర్ we used to calculate gross value added at basic prices. Now we are calculating it at GVA at factor cost. Okay. In new series, the information offered by stockbrokers, mutual funds, regulatory bodies like SEBI, PFRDA, IRDA is being considered for national income estimation. So, ఈ న్యూ సిరీస్లో ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ బ్రాడెన్ అంటే వీఆర్ మేకింగ్ ఇట్ బ్రాడ్ బేస్డ్, వీఆర్ కవరింగ్ మెనీ సెక్టార్స్, వీఆర్ గెటింగ్ యాక్యురేట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, రైట్? We are getting information from multiple sources which is accurate, which is regular, which is continuous. So mana perspective we are increasing, and mana national income estimation lo entante we are trying to bring the all the sectors so that up to a maximum or optimum level our data should be accurate and reliable. So mana data ni accurate and reliable cheyadaniki entante we are just getting information from different sectors anamata. And for example MCA 21 kuda, this was already explained in the previous classes. MCA 21, which is nothing but information which is available with the Ministry of I think Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So Ministry of Commerce and Industry దగ్గర there was a pile of information related to the companies which they are filing regularly. So ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ని కూడా మనం గ్యాదర్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది అనమాట, రైట్? By government order dated 23 May 2019, National Sample Survey Office and Central Statistical Office were merged and formed as National Statistical Office. Currently, national income statistics are published by this National Statistical Office, which I already told you in the previous class. So, with this, I have completed the national income estimates and national income related, basics, definitions, and the macroeconomic aggregators, and the methods of calculating national income and the difficulties in calculating national income. In the next classes, we will see the trends as far as national income, growth of national income and growth of per capita income is concerned, and how before planning how it was in between after 1991 how it was, and in the recent years how the national income has been growing అనేది ఒకసారి చూద్దాం. With that we will be completing the national income related topics, and then we will also see the structural the sectoral contribution of different sectors to the national income, and also we will see one more thing is the occupational structure in the Indian economy. Then we will move to the other issues, right? Thank you.